we just do that? What's up, guys? My name is Aman Singh. You guys are watching Sikh Arms. Today we're gonna talk about the best EDC carry. That's it. That's an Uzi. All right, you know I'm joking. All right, but let's get right into it. We'll talk about the Uzi. And first and foremost, the most notable thing about this thing when you hold it is how freaking heavy it is. It looks super light in the movies when they're just like riding a crotch rocket and shooting this. It's not in real life. This thing's almost 8 pounds. It's insanely heavy for what it is. So start off with, let's look at it. Trigger's right there. You charge it from the top. We have a stock back here. It's got a grip safety. The selector's on this side. It's safe all the way back. Semi in the middle. Full auto all the way forward. The mag release is actually right here on the pistol grip. You just push down, charge it up. How do you shoot it? Load it. By the way, the gun's cleared. I know some of you guys are gonna be like, oh, you didn't check. We checked. Have a loaded mag, put it right in, charge the gun, and you're ready to shoot, essentially. I mean, I've already got this on full auto. If you notice, the bolt is back. That's because this is an open bolt gun, right? So what that means is the bolt will be back. It'll be open. And then when you pull the trigger, it will take a round from the magazine, put it in the chamber, and fire it. If you pull the trigger, it's gonna go off. It's not just closing the bolt. In a typical gun, a closed bolt gun like an AR-15, you load the mag, you charge the gun, the bolt's closed, and then when you pull the trigger, a hammer slaps the firing pin, which hits the primer, which makes the gun go off. It's not how these work at all. So when you charge it, the bolt stays back. The bolt, when you pull the trigger, will actually take a round from the magazine, put it in the chamber, and the firing pin is essentially just welded onto the bolt. You can think of it that way. It's just already there. There's no hammer. So it takes a bullet from the mag, puts it in chamber, and then hits the primer. All when you just pull the trigger. What's gonna happen? So what's the best way to carry it? Because that's not really the easiest way to carry it. You know, you put a mag in and just have it in full auto or fire or even safe, and then pull the trigger. Typically, the Israelis carry it the Israeli carry style. They'll have the bolt forward. The selector will be on full auto or semi-auto. Load a mag. If the bolt's forward, then you put the mag in, it's not gonna go off when you pull the trigger. Nothing's gonna happen. So when you need to shoot something, you rack it back and then pull the trigger. Then you're ready to go. That's called the Israeli carry. That's how they do it. That's how most people do it on these things. Totally fine. So these things do have a grip safety, but it's terrible. Like, it's just, you know, like a 1911, they also have grip safeties, but it works on those. Like when you have a solid grip, it's fine. With this one, your grip's gotta be really weird almost to get it to be just right. So a lot of people actually just take the safety in. I feel like it's fine, especially if you carry it with the bolt forward and then put the mag in. You can even keep it on safe, keep it on semi, however you wanna do it. Totally fine that way. Also, this does have a stock. The way it works, you kind of just yank this thing down and then pull it back up. Locks in place. To close it, there's a little button right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's a round little button. Click it. That actually folds it down. And then the bottom part, you squeeze. There's a spring in there. I don't know if you can actually see it or not, but that folds it back, right? So latch it up here, close it back. That's it. Also, if you don't know, this shoots a 9mm, and in full auto, it shoots about 600 rounds a minute. So it's pretty quick, but not overly quick where it's just not manageable. Also, it does become a little difficult to shoot with this since it is an open bolt because you have all that mass going forward when you pull the trigger. So like you pull the trigger and then there's the bolt going forward, which tends to make you dip the gun. But you know, train, you'll be fine. So this thing originally, like the design on this started in the late 40s, was finished in the 50s. The Israeli army ordered these for their special forces group in 1956. It was very popular, very successful because it's a very reliable gun and it's very compact, right? Between the 1960s and 1980s, these were the most, between 1960s and 1980s, this submachine gun was the most popular submachine gun. More Uzis were sold to different armed forces and law enforcement agencies than any other submachine gun, like by far, beat them all. So there was actually over 90 countries that bought these for, like I said, their military or law enforcement. And in the US, the CIA actually bought about 3,000 of these for the Special Forces group, between 1968 and 1973. And then from the 1960s and 1990s, the Secret Service actually carried these in this format. They chopped the barrel so that they could put it in a suitcase, briefcase, whatever you want to call it. So this is a chopped down version. Typical Uzis are the barrel's a little bit longer. This is a configuration that the Secret Service carried them in. It's still old and it's outdated at this point. It's a cool gun. It's very iconic. It's very reliable. It's heavy as hell compared to, like, I don't know, like, here's a Scorpion. They're about the same size when you've got the stock out, right? But it's way heavier. It's not as accurate. Like, I mean, it's been aged, man. So overall, it's a pretty cool gun. It was heavily used in the military and law enforcement, but it's definitely seen as, but it's definitely aged now, right? But it doesn't mean it's not a good gun. That's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll make more videos later.